The evidence seems to indicate that you're watching Dolly Vision.
Footsteps down the hall, fingerprints of the dead, cold as stone. He's got the scoop, best around town known. Dolly Vision headlines, King the Beat. Truth unravels, crackling through the heat. Lost soul shouting, echoes in the night. Rock the truth while live on air light. Top it up, Dolly Vision's dreaming real. True crime scene flash feels so unreal. YouTube madness like share, subscribe. Jack's on fire, burning the world's fire. Where's the baby missing, shadows crawl. People whisper footsteps down the hall. Fingerprints of the dead, cold as stone. He's got the scoop, best around town known. Dolly Vision headlines, King the Beat. Truth unravels, crackling through the heat. Lost soul shouting, echoes in the night. Rock the truth while live on air light.
What is up, YouTube? It is Dolly back in the house again. The damn second live stream today. I'm on a roll. So today we're talking about, and it's been a few days since I talked about this, Lilly and Jack Sullivan. What happened to these kids missing out of Nova Scotia? Crazy circumstances. Where's the babies? Okay, and we're going to talk about that here today. But first, you guys, you're not brand new. Well, some of you may be. But if you're not, you already know. Leave your DNA all over the like button just in case you go missing in the hills of Tennessee or in the deep woods of Nova Scotia or you get trapped in a flood in Texas. I'm going to need your DNA on file so I can track you down like a bloodhound, okay? Like a bloodhound. Also, we're like 250 people away from hitting 71,000. Okay? That's a lot. 71,000. Take a minute and count to 71,000 and see how long that takes you. It'll take you a pretty good while. So you can help us hit that 71,000 by subbing up, ringing that bell for notifications, and of course, you can share my ugly face everywhere. Okay? Except Pornhub. Thank you, Connie. I don't know if I am the greatest, but I am pretty cool for a white guy. Okay? Pretty chill guy. So make sure you sub up, ring the bell, share me everywhere, all that good stuff. Let me give my warnings because we're talking true crime. Dolly Vision's for entertainment purposes only. We talk news, rumors, gossip, speculation, mixed with some theories, a little bit of comedy, and a whole lot of chaos. So don't take nothing here as fact. Completely satire, just my opinion, people. The caller's opinions are theirs and theirs alone, not to reflect on the Dolly. Everyone's innocent and proven guilty in a court of law. That even means the people we're talking about today, Daniel, Malaya, their whole family, even though I think they're guilty as shit. This is my opinion. And the biggest one of them all, don't try to be Dolly at home. It's dangerous. Your head could, and you don't need that, okay? Or you can fall on your head like I usually do. Don't try to be me. There's enough ugliness right here. We don't need no more. Okay. 2 months have passed. These kids are still missing without a trace. Everybody thought these kids were going to be found on a native reservation in Canada, and they were going to be building teepees and building headdresses with feathers and dancing around the campfire while they made s'mores. Hate. Hold on. Dolly is absolutely okay. Okay. Pretty fly for a white guy. All right. Pretty fly for a white guy. Let me share the screen real quick so y'all can hear the super chats as they come in. So I'm going to read them. Hit, like, share, subscribe. Dolly is the best. Army Mom, you are the best. Okay. The best around. Come to get down. Internationally known to rock the microphone. Okay. So anyway, 2 months have passed. These kids, everybody was thinking, hey, Dolly, they're alive. They're on a reservation, and Malaya has handed them off. You know, we had certain people out here pushing this narrative, and they were pushing it really hard. They went on a whole worldwide tour of YouTube, okay? They did everybody. They even went to Monkey Boy. You know it's a tour when you go to Monkey Boy because nobody goes there, okay? That's like a band playing like some town that only has 3 people. They just usually don't do it. They skip right over that town and go to a major city. Not Durwood, not Daniel. They pushed the narrative. They hit everywhere they could. Anybody that would listen to it about this reservation and the kids being there and Malaya handing them off and the mama, Janie got a gun, seeing it, right? Aerosmith seen it. Aerosmith knew the whole time that Janie had a gun and a shovel. Okay, why a lady's out there filling in potholes in the middle of the night, we may never know. We may never know. Okay, and that's just listen. Yeah. It's 12 o'clock in the night, and there's a pothole, and I just wanted to fill it because I might have to drive over it the next day when I'm leaving the property. And this pothole needs to be filled immediately. Okay, immediately. Now I don't believe there was a pothole filled. But was there somebody out there with a shovel? I think so. Possibly. Because we know these kids have not turned up. They've searched the woods and found nothing. The police never treated it as if it was an abduction because they never issued an Amber Alert. No Amber Alert for Jack and Lily because the police didn't believe they'd been kidnapped. If the kids ain't in the woods and the kids ain't been kidnapped, what could have happened to these kids? Now, there's a lot of pointing fingers back and forth. Who done it? Okay, the mystery thickens. All right, the plot. Colonel Mustard with the candlestick in the ballroom didn't happen. Okay, Daniel with the math pipe in the bathroom allegedly could have happened. I don't know. But now we're hearing this happy home that they made it out to be ain't so happy, okay? The little trailer don't have a smiley face. It has a frown, okay? A frown on this happy home. They're hover parents while they're in the bathroom allegedly doing things that you ain't supposed to be doing. Illegal things. Now, they're saying it's just Daniel, but you got to remember, Malaya was sleeping in kind of late too. And acts pretty emotionless. You know what makes you emotionless in this world? Drugs make you emotionless, okay? Like zombies walking around. No wonder she was so cold and heartless and lack of emotion. I believe both of these people are under the influence of some type of narcotic. Okay? Oh, I said it. Okay, I said it. And of course, Malaya's family has said it. And since then, I think, they have tried to reel it back a little bit because, when they said Daniel did, we'll just say illegal things, instantly people went to, well, if Daniel's doing it, Malaya must be doing it also or something like that. And, listen, so many people wanted to believe Daniel when he came out, right? Because he was the only family member, not even family member, but close to the kids, to come out and say anything on the internet. So people were like, hey, let's give Daniel the benefit of the doubt and see what he has to say. And he pretty much pushed the same narrative that Durwood, okay, which I consider TikTok Durwood. Okay, y'all remember TikTok Tony? Okay, he kind of reminds me of TikTok Durwood. That's what he'll be known as from now on. Okay, TikTok Durwood. Listen, we lose TikTok Tony. He's gone. He's missing. I got a search party I'm putting together right now to search for TikTok Tony and Seth Rogers. They're missing. MIA, gone. Cash App done dried up like a damn receding water in Texas. Okay, like receding water in Texas. They just gone. They vanished off the planet. Took the money and ran. Okay. So now we got to find Jack and Lily. We got to find TikTok Tony and Seth Rogers. There's just a lot of missing people. Okay. What are we to do? Okay. I don't know which one to look for first. Okay. All life matters, right? Even TikTok Tony's. All right. Where could they have went? The mysteries, right? The YouTube is just full of mysteries. That's why I love it so much, right? I enjoy it here because it's like the Scooby Doo. It's like real life Scooby Doo. Okay. Oh, Miss Aggie. Scooby Doo it is, right? So anyway, all jokes aside, these kids have completely vanished, and I don't believe the parents have hid Jack and Lily. And I hate to, statistically tell you guys once again, and we're going to take the vote that we always take. Okay. I want to see if things change. Okay. Somebody said, wait a minute. I just missed it. It said something about Seth's not missing. Is that what it said? Okay. Seth isn't missing. He's been in a creator's chat. That's missing. Okay. We don't even know if that's Seth. That could be a dummy account using that name. Right now, we got that man's marked as missing. Okay. Until further notice, him and TikTok Tony are MIA as can be. Now, stop lying, true crime junkie. I don't want to hear your lies. That man is missing in action. Okay. Don't be putting out false hope. You just like Durwood. Okay. That man's alive. I don't think he's alive. Okay. I don't think he's alive. I think he's on a reservation somewhere, and the Proudfoots have hit him. Okay. I think the Proudfoots have hit Seth on a reservation, and he's making s'mores. Prove me wrong. Okay. I'm going full up church. I don't believe Seth Rogers exists. Okay. I'm going full church. Full church right now. That man don't exist. TikTok Tony was just a bad dream. Woke up and he was gone. Okay. Woke up and he was gone. I don't believe they exist. Okay. Now, Sebastian Rogers, I believe he exists. I believe he's missing, and we need to find that young man. But the rest of these fools, I don't think they exist. And if they do, they don't to me. Okay. They don't to me. Oh my God. Hold on. My child is calling. Let me send her a message. I guess she didn't realize. Usually I don't do YouTube this early. So, let me send her a message. Let her know I'm live on YouTube. All right. It says I'm live. YouTube. Okay. So, I thought it was my phone. No, it was my Facebook. She was calling me on Facebook Messenger, and I just sent her a message to let her know we're live here on Facebook. So where did these kids go? Right now, there's rumors that Granny was seen with a shovel. Malaya is out living her best life, beaching it, hanging out with the cuz, hanging out with her friends. They believe Malaya should go on with her life and not search for her child one time. But my thing is this: why would you search for something you know where it's at, or you hid? Funny things about the blanket, the pink blanket being out the trash. Funny things about the 2 sweaters that are missing from the house. Weird, inconsistent statements coming from Daniel, Malaya, Durwood Jr. Let's don't leave out Durwood Jr. Okay. I didn't even know there was a Durwood Jr. Apparently there is. I think it's Jordan. I think it was his name. All these people pushing this narrative that Daniel's a good guy. But on the Malaya side, we hear he's abusive and he may be on some of that bam bam. Okay. We're just going to call a little bit of that bam bam, a little bit of that Breaking Bad. Okay. Breaking Bad. And I ain't talking Michael Jackson. I'm talking about Pinkleton Breaking Bad. Okay. That kind of Breaking Bad. Like, oh shit. I ain't no rest for the wicked, like Ozzy would say. Okay. No rest for the wicked. Matter of fact, Ozzy played his last show with Black Sabbath. For anybody that's out the loop, I'm just fill y'all in on that. He was so old that he couldn't stand up, so they had him sitting in a chair the whole time. Anybody see that? Anybody? I know that's off topic, but we know where Ozzy's at, but we don't know where these kids are. Now, I believe they have hid these kids. And I'm going to give you some of my opinion. And if you trigger warning real easy, you may want to tune out. Okay. You might want to just click off this video right now because it's about to get ugly. I believe these kids are dead. Okay. They've been buried and hid somewhere, wrapped up in a couple sweaters. Now, when they found that blanket next to a ATV trail right there. Love Ozzy. Yeah. Rock on. Bite the head off a bat. Okay. I can't believe the man's still alive. I don't think he can believe he's alive, right? He's like, damn, Sharon, I'm still alive. Okay. They're like, damn, what, he got batteries in his back? Is he AI? At this point, I don't know. You don't even know. He could be a fake Ozzy. You just don't know. Okay. You just don't know. He sounded pretty good for a corpse. Okay. It was almost like watching the Crypt Keeper perform. Anybody know who the Crypt Keeper is? Right? Tell us from the Crypt. Everybody raise your hand if you little off topic, a little squirrel. But that's what it kind of reminded me of, right? I was like, damn, is this man on life support out there? Okay. But I love Ozzy, great guy, right? I'm just joking, little Ozzy jokes today. But I believe they took these kids into the woods. And now don't bash Ozzy, please. Rocker chick. I got you. I love Ozzy just as much as you do, Rocker chick. I watched it. Okay. That's how I know about it, right? Was y'all watching Ozzy? I was. Okay. It was his last show. So I had to see it. I had to be there, right? With Aquaman. Aquaman was there. Axl Rose. There was a bunch of celebrities that showed up to watch the last Black Sabbath show. Okay. You watched it, Kelly? Okay. Lisa. Okay. Okay. There you go. We got some people out here. And Kelly Osbourne got engaged. Did anybody see that? Okay. Y'all out the loop, but I fill you in. On all the celebrity gossip. Okay. Anyway, I believe these kids have been put somewhere and hid by these parents. And I don't think they thought it would blow up to the magnitude it did. He is 76 years old. Good Lord. Okay, damn. I hope I live to 70s. I don't see that happening. But maybe if I'm lucky. Okay, maybe if I'm lucky. So when Daniel said, I just hope when they find these kids, they're not with these sweaters. Right? Because to me, that kind of made it sound like Jack and Lily was dead. Okay. Now, I hate to say this. The man lives in a damn dump. Literally. It looks like a big ass trash pile. It looks like somebody threw everything in his yard away along with the trailer. Okay. I'm waiting for the trash truck to come, and he was only working 1 day a week. Clean your damn yard. Okay. Clean your yard. And, it looked like a walking technic shot, and the kids were living in not the best conditions. According to Belinda Gray, the biological grandmother. Now, we don't know. Now, this is just hearsay from grandma. that the inside of the house wasn't much better. Okay. The inside wasn't much better. That there was stuff everywhere, trash everywhere. It was very unkept, which makes sense because the damn outside of the house looked pretty terrible. So these kids wasn't living in the greatest condition. And I can tell you one thing, when people get hooked on illegal substances, that's what we'll say, illegal substances, they tend to neglect the children. Now, I ain't making this up, and everybody that's been around people that have been bad on drugs, whether it be a family member or somebody you know that the kids are the ones that always suffer in cases like this. Okay. The kids are the first to suffer because the parents ain't spending money on the kids. You know, the kids are starting to look unkept. And we've seen pictures of Jack and Lily when they were well kept. And then we've seen pictures that look like, well, damn, she ain't brushed the kid's hair. They're looking a little different. Jack, a lot of images are showing up with Jack with marks and bruises on his face. Now, people are saying, Dolly, he's a little boy. Little boys get bruises. Okay, that's true. Usually on your arms and legs. You know, you may occasionally, you know, I don't know how many little kids run into doorknobs and black their eyes, but there's images that appear now. With AI, you never know, right? What's real and what ain't. So, but there's images that appear that this kid looks a little bruised up. There's accounts or rumors circulating 2 + 2 is very rare in Nova Scotia. Would be something else. Oh, no. No. I bet you it's all over Nova Scotia. You just don't run in the right circles to know. Okay. Drugs are everywhere. All drugs are everywhere. If you live on this continent, these drugs are available to you. Okay. You just got to know where to look and know the people, and it's there. Okay. So to be like, well, Nova Scotia don't have that. Oh, hell yeah, it does. Okay. You can look at some of the people from Nova Scotia and tell they got it. Okay. They got it. It's like 28 days later. Okay. I know drug addicts when I see drug addicts. I just know, right? I've been around enough of them in my life. I can smell you. Okay. I can just tell. And you know, kids are the first ones neglected, and people worry more about getting high than they do their own children. And it's a shame, but listen, how many drug addicts have you known to lose their kids? How many drunks have you known to lose their kids? Lots. Okay, because these things start to take over. Right? They start to take over, and then they start to control you. And nobody starts off wanting to be an addict. Okay? They're just like, they dabble in it, they're partying, they're having a good time. And next thing you know, they in a methadone clinic. I mean, it's just how it works. I mean, I've seen drugs take really good people, destroy them, and somebody that would have done anything for you, it's the same person now robbing you. That is horrible. That and sometimes these things, my allergies are bothering me, can be quick. It don't even take that long, right? To see people go completely downhill on drugs, right? And usually they lose everything they got. That's a good time. You know, I keep saying every time you see somebody that's doing rough that they're on drugs, but that's probably the first indication there may be possibility that there may be some problems when people are really struggling, and you're like, dude, what do you do with your money? Right? Why ain't you out trying to better yourself? Because you lose that motivation to be a better person or to do really well, because all you care about is, where am I going to get my next drugs from? Right? How are we going to, do this, and how we're going to do that? And I believe that them kids became a burden they became too much for them to handle, especially seeing that Jack and Lily may have been on the spectrum. We don't know. That's completely rumored, right? Completely rumored that these kids may have been autistic, but that's coming from Malaya and Daniel. Now, my thing about this, if it was daytime and Daniel said it's daytime and the sky's blue, I wouldn't believe him. Okay. And Malaya came out right now and said it's 4:29 p.m. where I'm at. And she said, Dolly, it's 4:29 p.m. where you're at. I wouldn't believe it. Okay. I'd check the time because I don't believe nothing either one of these people are saying, or anybody that's connected to them or friends with them. Okay. Because your friends are going to lie for you. Your family's going to take up for you. Right. I think we're still, everybody has this false hope of these kids are on a reservation and all this, but I don't really think so. Okay. I don't really think so. I think that something tragic happened and they had a choice and they got rid of the kids. And everybody at that house knows. You notice Jamie got a gun. She ain't talking, right? Because she knows, right? She don't want to get out there and be lying because then she's trapped up in it, right? So if she starts lying, oh, you know, if them kids were outside playing, they would have been playing right directly in front of Daniel's mother's house, right? The Breaking Bad meth lab, right there. Okay. They'd have been right there and she would have heard these kids. She has dogs. Dog would have been barking his ass off. Okay. Barking his ass off. But no, we got none of this, right? Nobody is magically gone. And you notice they never talk about what happened the day before. We do know they went somewhere near the mall in the city. They were caught on camera. Daniel, Malaya, Meadow, Jack, and Lily. Okay. But we don't know much about them getting home. Okay. We don't know what time the kids went to bed. They say 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, something like that. Later, they said that. But in the beginning, when they told the story, they never mentioned feeding the kids dinner, giving the kids a bath, giving Lily medicine or checking on Lily because apparently Lily was sick. Okay. Brushing the kids' teeth, putting them to bed, tucking them in, telling them a bedtime story. You know, all these things as a parent, you do. But apparently they didn't, or they just decided, hey, we're not going to mention this. Okay. We just, yeah, no big deal. We woke up and they were gone. Just vanished. Poof. Thin air. You got their dirty house, dirty outside the house, them sleeping all day, them allegedly being drugs, right? And now we remember in the beginning, we heard the rumors about the party. It makes a little more sense now. It sounds like it was a little bit of a party house if they were in there in the bathroom doing some bam bam. Okay. Even though, you know, people were trying to reel that back a little bit because it's starting to make Malaya look bad. Her stepsister didn't do her any good, right? Oh, she needs to live her life. She needs to move on. How the hell do you move on when you have 2 kids missing? Okay. I've seen people Joe Dirt one kid. Okay. You got an ugly son, Joe Dirt him, right? I've seen it. But to Joe Dirt your son and your daughter, like that's a double Joe Dirt. Okay. That usually just don't happen. That's like having a side mullet. Okay. You usually don't see that. You usually don't see a side mullet. Usually it's business in the front, party in the back. Okay. That's like having short hair on this side, long hair on this side. It's like a side mullet. You just don't see it. Happens, right? You might catch one at a punk rock show, right? But usually you don't see a side mullet. Just like you usually don't see 2 kids vanish without a trace, right? In the middle of nowhere. You got better odds to see a Bigfoot, okay? Being bit by a shark on the beach. True. These kids didn't vanish. They're not in the woods. The RCMP oh my God. For the next person that says the RMCP, MP, or whatever, the Mounties, damn Rocky and Bullwinkle. That is a joke. Okay, they have done the shittiest job next to TBI. Okay, I rank the RCMP right now with TBI. Okay, TBI, RCMP, both the same. Not worth a damn. Okay, not worth a damn. Dropped the ball, kicked it over the fence, and went home. What the hell? Like, you don't need a genius to solve this one. Okay, now I don't know what exactly transpired, but I know who knows. I'm smart enough to know that. Okay, I've been around true crime long enough to know that if you rile those people up that was in that dumpy ass trailer, you would find the culprit who knows what happened to Jack and Lily or what they did with Jack and Lily. And I'll tell you this, if we find them two sweaters, we'll find Jack and Lily. Okay, maybe we need to stop looking for Jack and Lily and start looking for the two sweaters. Okay, because we find them sweaters, we're going to find these children. And it's going to be heartbreaking. It's going to be heartbreaking, guys, for all you people. Like, I like the wishful think too. You know what I'm saying? I like still to believe that Santa Claus is real. You know, that, you know, he's going to bring me something. Never does, right? But I like to believe he's real. Just like I like to believe these kids are on a reservation. But reality at some point has to sink in to even all you hopeful people, right? I don't want to rain on your parade because I like parades, okay? St. Patty's Day, Macy's parade. I like parades. I don't want to be a big rain cloud on your parade, okay? But I got to. I got to because reality tells me better. True crime, the years that I've been in true crime lets me know that we live in a terrible, terrible place where people do horrible things to their kids, statistically, okay? Just like y'all only got 522 likes, there's 1,100 people in the room. That's 600, okay? I took math in school, right? I just cheated in basic algebra. But everything else I knew. That means at least 600 of you didn't like my damn video, okay? I'm going to rain all on your parade. I'm raining, okay? I'm like a big-ass storm cloud brewing right over your ass at this point, okay? So let's take a little vote. Let's take a little vote. And I want to see, because, you know, I've done this every time I talked about Jack and Lily, because I like to gauge the audience. Now, I want you to be truthful. Don't lie. I'm not going to pick on you if you believe something different than me. No worries. We're not an echo chamber. You don't have to believe nothing I say, because everything I say, just like I tell you in the beginning, is just my opinion, okay? And you're entitled to yours, just like I am entitled to mine. Now, if you believe these kids are no longer with us, and I mean in heaven, I want you to like this video, and I want you to press 1. Now, if you still believe these kids are on a reservation, I want you to like this video. And I want you to press 2, okay? But don't cheat. Like the video and then cast your vote. 1, the kids are in heaven. 2, a reservation, okay? Or they've been hid. I see a lot of 1s, and that's changing. That I knew it would. I knew it would. I knew that. I mean, people, right there, Cynthia, first 2. Come on, be real. I won't be mad at you. You don't have to believe the same thing. If you think their kids are, you know, dancing around a campfire, rain dancing, you can go ahead and press 2. You did it twice. Well, we got you the first time. Okay, we got you the first time. Don't try to make it out to be more. Okay, right there. Ann thinks so. Biscuit thinks so. Liv thinks so. Okay. All right, but that's starting to be a lot less. I have to say, there's a lot of 1s in the chat room. Okay, there's still some of y'all that are believing. Ladybug believes that these kids are on a reservation somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Making bow and arrows and carving down rocks. 2 from Nova Scotia. Okay. I hate to disagree with you guys. Well, I don't hate to. I just absolutely disagree with you. Okay. Still love you. You're still like fam. You know what I'm saying? But we have a difference in opinion. I respect your opinion though, and you could possibly be right, and these kids could be out there. The odds of that, listen, I ain't a gambling man. But if I was, I would definitely put my money on one. Okay. The odds of these kids being alive at this point, for us that watch the first 48, okay, us old timers that watch the first 48, we know within the first 48 hours, if they don't find you alive, the chances of them finding you alive just drop by 50%. 50%. Damn, that's a lot, right? That is a lot. Like, damn. So by day 3, you at 45%. Day 4, 40. What is it? 40%. But a week in, you got no chances of being found alive. The odds, listen, I believe in miracles, right? But that's what we would need, guys. For all you people that press 2, we need a miracle, right? If you press 2, you better be praying, right? You better be praying to whatever God you pray to, Jesus, Allah, damn, David Koresh, I don't know, whoever, right? Charles Manson, whoever you pray to, you better be praying to those people, because the odds of that happening in true crime,
These babies have been gone for too long, sadly. Angelic face emoji.
Yes. And Trixie says, like, subscribe, join, become a turtle. Absolutely. Right now, I'm a little bit of a doom and gloom turtle, because I want people to kind of face the reality that we're dealing with. Charles Manson. See, I knew somebody played the Manson in here, right? I knew it. Y'all, when I said something about Ozzy, people like, yeah. I was like, oh, there's some people out here praying to Charles Manson. Gotta watch y'all, right? Gotta watch y'all at the next meet and greet. I mean, to stab me in the back, okay? Ain't gonna happen. You ain't gonna share and tape me, all right? Ain't happening. Just letting you know. Got my eyes on you. And I got my eyes on Daniel and Malaya and their parents. I believe all these people know. I believe Malaya's mother is protecting her, right? Which, listen, Marilyn Manson. I believe she's protecting her. And listen, listen, it's hard to blame her mother. Mothers are going to protect their children, right? It's kind of damn, right? She done off the grandkids, allegedly, in my opinion. And you're defending her, but Malaya's her baby. And it's hard for people to see it, even in the Stephen Stearns case, right? Which is coming up at the end of this month. His parents send him money. They talk to him on the phone all the time. They tell him they love him. His mother said if he gets executed, she's going to be there for him. That's some love right there. When your son is the sickest ass dude on the planet, right? That is love. And that's what you expect from a real caring parent. All right. Even in times that are bad, your parents usually love you. But look at Malaya. She's not out there searching or fighting for her kids or screaming from the rooftops like people like to say. And if she is screaming from the rooftop, it must be a low ass roof. Okay. Because I ain't seen nothing. One interview, deuces, I'm out. Just don't cut it for me. It's just huge red flags. The inconsistencies in their statements, in their scripted story they told in the beginning. And now, why didn't they tell the police, the RCMP, that what Malaya was doing in the beginning? Why they wait so long, or if they did? Why is Daniel telling mainstream media one thing, but telling YouTubers a different thing? There's things that put off my radar, foul play radar, because my radar says foul play, more foul play, and extremely foul play. All right, on my radar, it don't have no this ends good. That shit ain't even on my reader. It just says bad, badder, worse. killers. Okay. That's all my stuff says. Anything on the radar, if my radar goes off, it's foul play. And my radar goes all the way into these kids are with Jesus. These parents know what happened. One of them is responsible, in my opinion. Which one? I think that's where the mystery is which person is responsible, not so much where the kids are. Because if they buried these kids, just magically there's a shovel around. We got missing kids, missing sweaters, missing blankets, four-wheeler trails. These people have lived in this area. They know this area. We got inconsistent statements. What more do you need? Right? I don't know why. To me, when I see so many people think these children are alive, I'm like, y'all must be smoking the sticky icky. Okay. I remember when I smoked, I could believe some crazy shit when I smoked. I'd be like, yeah, them kids are alive. Past that, right? But these days, I haven't smoked in a year. I'm like, yeah, that shit ain't happening. Okay. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Okay. We'll make a deal. If they find these kids, I'll shave my eyebrows. that's how confident I am that it ain't going to happen. That shit. I mean, I don't mean alive. All right. That's how confident I am. Because you think about how stupid I look with no eyebrows. I already look goofy enough, but just think about that. It ain't going to happen. It just ain't going to happen. I'm confident in that. If you put up a $1 million reward right now for these kids, nobody will collect it. Okay. They ain't collect $150,000. What is that? Not enough money? You could put up a $5 million reward right now, and they ain't going to tell, because the people that know are family. Strangers that had anything to do with it, somebody would have collected the $150,000 reward. That's one more red flag that the family is involved, because nobody's collecting this reward. And if for every person that believes this on YouTube and runs that narrative for Daniel and Durwood and all these people, it don't do this any good. It don't. It really don't. And if you would have asked in the beginning, before Durwood and Daniel reared their ugly heads, okay, I don't know if their heads are ugly, but hypothetically, okay, before they reared their little snaky ass heads, everybody was saying the family was guilty. Everybody. I mean, unanimous. Like, you may have got one person that accidentally typed in the wrong number. You know what I'm saying? When I said one, they were confused. They were like, two, right? Nobody believed it. Dolly, get your razor ready. Okay, what about when they don't and they find these kids not with us? Are you going to do the same thing? Okay, let's get your razor ready. Because I tell you now, there'd be a lot of people in this room with no damn eyebrows, right? I'd be like, what are you doing? Browsing, right? Are you browsing around the YouTube, right? Because I'm confident that these kids ain't going to turn up, because I believe these kids are buried somewhere. And that's why the title says, did they bury these kids? I don't think they hit them far as with somebody else. There hasn't been no sightings of these kids. Everybody thinks the natives just are like baby snatchers, and they're going to hide these babies on the res, right? In some buffalo fur. I don't know what the hell y'all smoking, but that ain't happening. Okay. They're right now giving them little native names, running pony and damn sitting turtle style. I don't know. I don't know, but I just know that ain't happening. This is 2025. Okay. That shit just ain't happening. And to put this on the native people, it's bad, right? Don't you think the natives have had it bad enough? We don't need to blame them for kidnapping babies. hiding babies on the res. Okay. Leave the natives alone. Okay. It's like, leave Britney alone. Same thing with the natives. Okay. They just a darker complected Britney Spears. Think of them like that. All right. Don't blame the natives, right, for doing something they ain't did. They had it bad enough, right? They had to deal with the white man. Okay. That's terrible. That's terrible. Stealing their land. So I don't believe none of that. And I'm going to open up the phone lines and I want you guys to tell me, did they do something and bury these kids so they would never be found? We know there's a shovel. We do know that, right? Grandma had a shovel. Daniel had a clean four-wheeler, the cleanest thing they own. The blanket found right next to an ATV trail. I don't know. Anybody else's red flags going off? My red flags blowing in the wind like whoosh, the damn flagpole's about to break. It's blowing so hard, red flags. Right? Like, listen, I live at the ocean front, and when we see red flags, you know what that means, right? It means the current strong, don't get in the water. Your ass will die. That's what it means. Okay? You will drown. Red flags, don't get in the water. So I know a red flag when I see a red flag. And I'm going to hit you with for all you people that believe these kids are on a reservation somewhere, I'm going to tell you in the words of Flavor Flav. All right. Let me break out my big clock. Okay. Don't believe the hype. Okay. Don't, in my best Flavor Flav voice, don't believe the hype. These people, Malaya is no different than Leilani Simon. Okay. And for all you people from Canada that don't know who Leilani Simon is, I encourage you, okay, to look up my ex-fiance. All right. I know it sounds crazy. Why would Dolly want you to look up his ex-fiance? Just look up my ex before PJ. Now I got a wonderful girl that don't kill babies. But look her up and watch how she acts. And then watch Malaya. They could be sisters. Okay. They could be twinsies. They almost look alike. Okay. They almost look alike. She could be her Canadian sister. And Leilani, you know, we would have tied the knot, but you know, she's tied up for the next 40 years. Okay. So it left me single for PJ, right? It left me single for PJ. Because, you know, my fiance, she's going to be down for at least 40 years plus 10. So with parole, so she could be out by the time she is 73 years old. Now, you know who should be sitting beside her? The mother that hasn't been out searching for her kid. You know who else didn't search for their kid? Leilani Simon didn't search for her kid. Neighbors did. She did. All right. And she didn't even know what she did. Right? You know why? Because she was on drugs. Drugs make people do horrible things, just like we talked about. She went off, slept with the dope man, did some drugs, slung her baby in the trash. Canada. Right? For all you people. Everybody thought damn Quentin Simon was in Hawaii. Okay. He's a little Hawaiian kid. They thought he was on the islands, not Turtle Island. Okay. They were like, oh, she done shipped this kid off to Hawaii. Yeah, no, that didn't happen. Unless Hawaii's in a landfill. Okay. It's horrible. It is extremely horrible. And did they do something like that? Because usually, you know, you throw something away. Sometimes, a lot of times it's found. Okay. But then again, sometimes things go into the landfill and it's never found. And from my understanding, right around that time that these kids went missing, just coincidentally, was around trash time. Why is it always that? It just seems weird to me. A lot of kids go missing around trash day, and people, how people can hurt their kids. Listen, I know no, she's not my ex-wife. She's my ex-fiance. She ended up going to prison before we could tie the knot. Okay. I didn't know she was a baby killer. I just didn't know. Come to find out. You know, that's why I was at court. I had to watch for myself. I drove down to Georgia. I sat in the courtroom and I watched her go to prison. Just like when Malaya goes to prison, I'm flying to Canada. I'm going to sit in the courtroom right behind her mama, just like I did Leilani's mama. And I'm going to watch her go to prison. I already know. I'm already planning my trip. Okay. I'm already planning my trip. That's how sure I am of what is going on in this. This is not my first rodeo. I done been in the I could be a cowboy. All right. On a steel horse, I ride. Want it. Dead or alive. Okay. Okay. I'm going full Bon Jovi on you. Okay. That's how sure I am of this sequel that we're watching. Okay. It's like a rerun of a show I done seen. It's horrible. Now, I want your opinions. Did they bury these babies somewhere near that house off of one of these four-wheeler trails? I know it's brutal, but you have to ask these questions. These questions have to be asked. Now, I know every last single one of us have thought something like this. You may hope that they're alive, but in the back of your mind, it's going, these kids are buried somewhere. So I know in the back of my mind, that's what my brain is telling me. Hey, these kids, Dolly, my conscience is going, Dolly, you know, and it's telling me I'm right. And I'm not wrong a lot. I can be wrong. I can be right. Every now and then I get things wrong, but I really seriously doubt that I'm wrong in this situation. I believe the RCMP did a horrible job interrogating these people. Listen, Canada, you want answers? Give me immunity. Don't charge me with any crimes. And you let me do what I want to do with these people for 10 minutes. No, like Pantera says, I just need 5 minutes alone. 5 minutes. And in 5 minutes, I will walk out and tell you where the kids are. Okay? Should be Dolly law. Give me 5 minutes, Canada. All right? Bring me in. Give me 5 minutes. And a blowtorch. And I promise you, I will tell you where these kids are. Now, the shape of the people, he might be bad. It might be bad. Somewhere near, has anybody ever seen the movie Hostel? Right? With the skill saw? Anybody ever seen that? Anybody seen Hostel? Where the guy, he's got the skill saw and the cord's too short and he's trying to pull it and the cord stuck and he skill saws the dude in the face. Anybody seen that? You know me, I like horror movies. 5 plus razzle dazzle equals Dolly law. Okay. That is right. Yes. Oh my God. Yep. Okay. And then when I walk out, I'm gonna get a tattoo of a wolf. You know, in the movie Hostel, everybody that takes part in Hostel, they got to get this tattoo. That means you are apex predator. Okay. And you have to get the tattoo. So when you see people with the tattoo, you know that they're into the same thing as you. All right. Them Hostel movies are fucking crazy, but they'll talk. Okay. Tat of that hound. Is it a hound dog? I thought it was a wolf. I knew it was some type of dog. Right. Tat of the hound dog. Yeah. Right. Well, a hound dog, wolf. Either way, I'm walking out with a tattoo. Okay. That's all I'm saying. I'm going to walk out with the answers and a tattoo. All right. So crazy movies. Ozzy is real sick. I so love Ozzy. I saw it. So cool. But the RCMP did a terrible job. Let me open the phone lines real quick Phone lines are now open. You guys let me know. Are these kids buried somewhere there in Nova Scotia? Or do you still believe they're on a reservation being hid by the natives? Yeah. I think it's bad, guys. Tell me how many true crime stories end with good news. This like Texas. Oh my God. Everything is bad in Texas. Like we were hoping a lot of them kids and 27 girls from Mystic Campground was good in Central Texas. All of them gone. There's already, they found over 110 people. There's still another 170 missing. When that ends, we're probably going to have 300 people dead from a flash flood. Like people are hopeful. I was hopeful. And then they crushed all my hope. When they said all them kids were dead, I was like, oh my God, dude, this is the worst ever. Because I wanted to keep hope alive, just like people do that want to say they're on the reservation. But you're believing a liar. Daniel's a liar. And I bet you every last one of you that put 2 in the chat would say Daniel. But yeah. Dolly.
Hey, Dolly.
Yeah.
This is Melissa. You are so right on this case, man.
I think so.
I just have visions of Sebastian. I mean, it's just like visions of Sebastian.
I think this is worse
than. Like that?
I think it's worse than Sebastian.
It might be, but we still don't know about Sebastian, so we don't know.
I mean, there is that possibility that Sebastian could have actually ran away. I don't think so. But in this case, there's really not much chances of that.
No, they're too little.
Yeah.
What about that guy that keeps running his mouth about he knows where they are? He knows.
He is what we call here full of shit. Okay.
I was just going to say, is he FOS or what?
Well, I mean, he likes to gossip. I
was with Daniel until he said the sweaters.
I believe he believes what he's being told, truly, like because he says it with conviction when he repeats it, that people told him this. But that don't mean they're telling him the truth.
That's exactly right. If these kids aren't dead, it'll be a miracle.
And he's defending his line. Like when Daniel lied, he said, well, we're just going to say he made a mistake. No, we're going to say he fucking lied because that's what he did.
Well, did he really ever pass a polygraph? I don't believe he did.
I believe he passed a polygraph, and I believe Ted Bundy passed one. So, I mean, there's a possibility.
Ted Bundy did.
You can't use them in court for a reason because they're not accurate. Nobody can tell when you're lying, right? Some people are so narcissistic, they believe their own lies. And if you believe your own lies, it's not a lie. If you believe yourself.
Yeah. It's called habitual liars. And I know quite a few of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but you're right, man. They're dead. I mean, if they're not, I pray for these kids. I still pray for Sebastian.
Mm-hmm.
I pray for all these missing kids.
Yeah. People thought Summer Wells was going to pop up too. It's been 4 years.
Oh, I know it has.
Remember, she was living in a church. She was sold off to the 7 day.
What was that called? Seventh Day Adventist.
Yeah, they were sold. We heard that, and she's at this Tim Mullins guy. So we heard so much things of people saying the same similar things, and look where we're at today. 4 years later, and no Summer Wells, and it'll be 4 years from now, and there'll be no Jack and Lily.
It's still like I always feel like it's the parents. I always feel like the parents.
I mean, statistically, you got better odds of being hurt or killed by somebody you know or in love.
Oh, I know.
Than a stranger.
I know.
So if we're just playing statistics, the mom and dad are responsible when these kids are gone.
Yeah, but what happened to mom and dad when they split so quickly?
That I
Well,
don't
Dolly,
get.
won't keep you.
I don't get that. But
I
okay, I appreciate you calling.
I just wanted to say you're right on this one, man. It's bad.
Yes.
This is bad.
Yes.
And RCMP effed up.
Yep. All right, you be good. Stay safe.
You too. Bye.
Okay. There was somebody at press number 1. These kids are gone. See, it ain't just me that thinks this, right? And you notice she knew about all the other true crime cases, Sebastian, Summer Wells. If you've been around here long enough, we know how this ends. We know. Dolly.
Around here long enough, we know how this is.
Hello. You gotta turn me down in the background.
Dolly. There we go.
Hello.
Hello.
You gotta turn me down in the background.
I did.
I can still.
I think I did.
No, I can still hear
There
myself.
we go.
All right. Hello.
Can you hear yourself now?
No. All right. Who's this? Where are you calling from?
Canada.
Okay, Canada. You got a name?
Yeah, Marie.
Hey, Marie. What's going on tonight? What is your thoughts?
Oh, listen. I had so much hope, and when he said that he'd be searching for the rest of his life, I went, "Oh my God!"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did that set off a
And
red
then-
flag for you? Was that like red as this hat?
Well, yeah, redder, redder.
Neon
And,
red. Fire truck engine red.
Not engine red though.
Uh-huh.
No, yeah. So I don't think we're ever going to find the bodies. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I believe that if they have a pig farm over there, they could be fed to the pigs. The only things the pigs don't eat are the teeth.
Uh-huh.
Correct. And if not that, I really believe he talks a lot about water.
Well, no, here to correct you, the pigs will eat your teeth. They just don't digest. So they.
Oh, is that it?
Yes.
Oh, excuse me then. I'm sorry.
Yeah, their stomachs won't digest the teeth, so they'll not to be nasty, but poop your teeth out.
So they'll devour the whole thing then. Yeah.
The pig will eat you. Hogs will eat you. They'll eat every bit of you, and then you'll be poo poo. I mean, it's nasty to say, but I mean they will.
No, but I'm trying to figure out, right?
Uh-huh.
And then if not that, you'll never find the bodies if they put them in that basin. If it went into the water and right into the ocean, you'll never find them. Ever. We're never going to find the bodies ever. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm starting to think, well, when they said the grandma was out there with a shovel that night, that I don't know if the grandma, I know the kids ain't buried in the driveway. That'd be too easy, right?
No, that's too easy. Yeah.
I think that these kids are buried somewhere. Sad. It hurts my heart to say it, but I live in reality. I don't live in a false reality where people are dancing around a campfire singing Kumbaya. It's bad.
No.
I don't cover cases unless I think it's bad, and I've thought this was bad from day one.
Well, you better get PJ, get your plane tickets ready, and come on over.
She's getting my plane tickets ready, but it's to go to Florida and to Carolina for GalaxyCon and Stephen Stern's case in Florida. So
I think you've still got lots of time before we hit,
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. You may see me make an appearance. Can't promise you anything, but you be good. Stay safe.
Take care, Dolly.
All right, peace.
Bye-bye.
Dolly.
Hi.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Who's this? Where are you calling from?
This is Lula from Mesa, Arizona.
Say Lula.
Lula. Lula. Lula from Mesa, Arizona.
Hey, Lula. How you doing?
Good. I agree with you 90% on this case. I know these kids aren't alive. I've been following true crime for almost 40 years. I don't agree with the Durwood part. I think he knows those kids aren't on a reservation. He likes the attention.
Yeah, I think so too.
He's just thriving on the attention.
Yeah.
And this investigation, did they ask Daniel, where were you the night before? What clothes were you wearing the night before? Where I want answers to all this stuff.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what they asked him because, you know, there's no way to know. And he's never mentioned what they questioned him about inside interrogations. He just said that they questioned him for 4 hours. So, but he didn't go into details in any interview I've seen of what the police asked him.
And I have to say, shame on the mother.
I can tell you what he was wearing, that tap out shirt that he always wears. I'm just guessing. I'm just guessing.
I say shame on that mother. I cried more when my daughter got on the school bus the first day of school.
Yeah. I've cried more tearful joy tears than this woman has for her kid. So it's crazy to see that. And I mean, if that ain't a huge red flag to people, then I don't know what. But even sometimes, though, you know, there was a girl in Texas and her husband died breaking a window, and she was really calm to tell the story. And I was just thinking, this girl is in shock. When she gets alone and the camera's off, she's probably going to break down. But she was super calm, very little emotion. And you would think she was a serial killer, but she went through a traumatic experience during the floods. But she was just calm and as stoic as could be. I was like, damn. So, it made me think of Malaya. But is it the same, or is it that she don't care? It's hard to tell.
Because eventually you're going to break. I mean, eventually it's going to get to you.
People say that, but I don't know if that's really the case. Everybody says, you know, people believe in prison justice. That don't always happen. People don't always have a conscience. Oh, well, my conscience would get to me, but if you don't have any emotion, you most likely don't have any conscience.
Oh, and I think Stephen Stearns is working out a plea deal, to be honest.
I do too, on a murder charge, because me and PJ were talking about it tonight. She said, are you going for the child pitcher charges, or are you going for the murder case? I said, well, I want to go for the child pitcher case because once they find him guilty there and he gets all these years, he's going to take a plea to life in prison without the possibility of parole on the murder. So the murder trial is never going to take place, but the first trial is. So I'm going to be there for the first trial.
I think the first trial has been postponed because the prosecution
they denied him. He tried to delay it. They denied it.
Oh, I heard that they had an extension because it seems like they're working a deal on the first one.
Nope. They denied it. He tried to push it back, and they said, hell to the nah. Your ass is staying in trial, and you're doing it this month, at the end of this month.
And there you go. There's another mother that don't give a shit either.
Jen Soto. Absolutely.
Yeah.
She was defending them, talking about getting them a lawyer. She didn't care about her daughter at all. I mean,
no.
It's horrible. So we know these mothers exist. Right? We know that. It's a special breed, but they're out there.
They are.
Pretty fly for a white guy.
Well, thanks for the chat.
Laughing emoji.
All right. Well, you be good.
You too.
All right. Peace.
Peace.
All right. Let me hang this up. Let me open the phone lines back up. I got time to take a few more of your calls. I'm not going to be here really long because I'm going to be back later tonight after dinner. Dolly.
How you doing, Dolly?
I'm doing pretty good. Who's this? Where you calling from?
It's Buzzy, man. Again, I'm calling from Wright City, Missouri.
What's up, Buzzy?
Not much, man. I got to agree with you. Them kids are gone, man.
Yeah, and I mean, look, the people that say that kids are like, I pray they're right, but I know better. right?
I'm hoping so too,
Yeah,
Dolly. I mean, but I got a question, man. I got a question to ask you.
okay.
Okay, look, man. Okay, if they did something to the kids, which is what I think they did. Okay, I don't think they would have done anything around there anywhere close. I think that they would have knew cops and shit. Dogs would have been all over that place. I don't think they would have buried them anywhere in those woods there where they were searching. Now they might have transferred them and went to a whole different fucking part of Canada, and and buried them there.
Yeah,
because they would have known that them dogs are going to be all. They would have known, man, that something would have probably been found.
They didn't even bring in. They didn't even bring in cadaver dogs for weeks.
I know that's the thing, but they didn't know that they weren't going to do that. You know what I'm saying?
I guess. I mean,
but you know what I'm saying. I mean, man, I think you're right.
I think they could have took that.
They're just piece of shit parents, man. Somebody would do that to their kids.
Most people know when somebody goes missing, they search a 5-mile radius. Most people know that, right? It's pretty common knowledge, especially here in the state.
True. Yeah, that's true.
They search a 5-mile radius. If you get that person with that outside of that 5-mile radius, the odds of them being found are slim to none. You know, I mean,
yeah.
So if they took that 4-wheeler 5 miles out, then they could have done it and drove a long ways down these trails and dispose of the kids. Or you're right.
Which does make sense. Well, which does make sense, Dolly, because like you said, that fucking 4-wheeler was the cleanest thing on the place.
Yeah, and the blanket that they found in the tree was next to an ATV trail.
Yeah, so they could have rode down that trail anywhere, went off a mile or two down in the woods, and boom,
Yeah, and it's still.
Why didn't they bring the fucking cadaver dogs out? I mean, why didn't they do that to begin with? I mean, fucking, you'd think they would have.
I would have thought they would have too, but we know they didn't for the first few weeks because the news reporter asked him. She said, "Did y'all bring in cadaver dogs?" He said, "No, but maybe that's our next step because they were reeling back the investigation. They were calling off the search." And he said, "Yeah, we might do that next." So if they ain't done it, if he's going to do that next, maybe that means they didn't do it at all, and they didn't have cadaver dogs in the woods. They had.
What's wrong with them? What's wrong with the fucking cops up there? Can't they get them in there and say, "Hey, man, you get them on a charge, like you said, neglect, child neglect. If anything, get them in there." And break them motherfuckers down, man.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm serious.
That's how it works here. That's how it works in America. They start lying to you, making up shit, and next thing you know, you tell it, and we got you. I mean,
yeah, somebody's going to roll if you're sitting in there for a little bit. Somebody's going to be thinking while they're in there. It's going to give them time to think and look at four fucking walls.
Put them in jail.
And they're going to. Somebody might say something. Man.
Put them in jail, and then let a jailhouse informant tell on them.
Yeah, let them in there and just start yapping. Put another girl in there with Malay. Oh man, I'm sorry you're in here. Or what happened? Get her to feel a little comfortable. Put her guard down for a few minutes, and boom.
Yep. All right, my man.
We can do what you said. Hey, Dolly, we can do what you said. We can do the blowtorch thing where you can go in there too.
It'll be quicker.
Yeah, it'd be faster.
All right, you be good, my man.
You take it easy, Dolly. All right, buddy.
Peace. Now, I blow torch myself, right? I mean, give me a battery, a pair of jumper cables, and a bucket of water, and I'll get you some answers, all right? You give me a thumbtack, a pack of Skittles, and a razor blade, it's done, okay? It'd be quick, all right? I'll eat the Skittles, okay? The Skittles are for me. I just let you know. And while I'm doing all this mean stuff to them, I want to be able to taste the rainbow. Okay. But yeah. And so far, everybody that's called has been on the same page as me that these kids are gone. And, especially like I said, if you've been around true crime long enough, you kind of know. Dolly. Yeah.
Doug from Tennessee.
What up, Doug?
Hey, if you think about it, Daniel gave away where them kids is at.
He's giving away where the kids are at?
Yeah.
How do you figure?
If you drive down that trail that blanket was filed off, till you come to the first waterfall, that's where them kids is at.
The first waterfall?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Remember him?
He mentioned the waterfalls. Yes, he did mention.
Yeah, he did.
He wanted to be the
remember
old Daniel.
back when we met at the waterfall? It's probably right down that old four-wheeler trail that the blanket was built at, and that's where them kids are probably buried.
Yeah, but how do we know the waterfalls they met at are anywhere near their house? You know what I'm saying? That's just like, okay, it's right down the street.
Because you can tell Daniel don't go far from home.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know, Doug.
Just got to believe that's where they're at, that waterfall, wherever the waterfall is, close to Daniel's house.
Yeah, I just don't believe these kids are alive. I mean,
no, they're buried. I just think they're buried there at that waterfall.
They may be. You may be right about them getting into something and being at the waterfall. I mean, you might be nailed. You might have nailed this one, Doug. I mean, you're wrong about everything else on every other true crime thing. You might be right about this one. I guess you're right.
You know,
every dog has their day, right? You get.
That's right.
You only been wrong about 100 things. You got to get one thing eventually right.
That's it. But they see, if you think about it, though, they had to get the stories straight. They got the stories straight, and then she started feeling bad. She told her mama what happened. That's why she got lawyered up, and she ain't the one that laid the stuff out. It was Daniel left it laying out.
And that's why she's blaming Daniel and mad at him because he left. Out the bam.
Yep, that's it.
You may be hitting the hammer right on the nail. I mean, I guess time will tell if the RCMP does a halfway decent job. They ain't even done that. They've done zero.
But she would be accessory to the fact. And that's why Grandma wouldn't let them in that damn camper. Because that's where they was playing that, what's that show was called? What guy was making it in the campers?
Oh, Breaking Bad.
Yeah. That's why they wouldn't let them in that camper, because they were Breaking Bad in that camper.
I don't know. I don't know the reason why the lady wouldn't let them in the camper. Like, maybe, who knows? Maybe
would you let them in there if you had? Would you let them in there if you had test tubes laying everywhere?
I don't really think. The lady,
but I'm just saying that's what I believe happened.
2 and 2. But I mean, you never know. I mean, I doubt it though.
And they're all 4 in on it.
I believe that she knows Daniel's mother has knowledge of what is going on.
Yeah. But I just believe they're all 4 in it. And Daniel and his brother want to haul them off. And she's feeling bad about it.
I don't think any of them feel bad. I ain't seen nobody feeling bad. No, I ain't seen one tear yet. I haven't seen one tear yet. So I don't think anybody's feeling bad about it. To be honest,
they will be eventually. Okay.
All right, Doug. You be good.
Peace out. Tell PJ hi.
I will. Peace. Okay, so that's going to be the last call I take because I'm going to be back later tonight and we're going to be talking more about this case. Now, I'm not for sure if it's going to be Thursday or Friday, but Sonny from A Crying Shame, we're going to do a stream together. All right. And, she's been in contact with Belinda and some of Malaya's family and all that. So we're going to go over the whole case from start, all the rumors, gossip, everything from the start to the end. I'm not quite sure if it's going to be Thursday night or Friday night. I'll have to speak with her. And so make sure y'all tune in to that. So we're going to go over the whole timeline, everything to do with the case from A to damn Z. Okay. So you're going to want to be here for that. So once I know for sure the time and date, which is going to be either Thursday or Friday night, this Thursday or Friday night, probably around 8 o'clock. We don't want to do it too late where everybody's in bed. So I usually don't stream at that time, but we're going to do it a little bit earlier. So you guys that, got normal damn lives can watch the program. Right. And I think she has good insight on the case. I think, my take on it maybe just a little bit different than hers. And we're going to see how it works out. But, I definitely want to chop it up with somebody that's been covering this on a daily basis that knows, a lot of the little details and is keeping up with everything like we are. So I thought it would be a good fit to bring her on and chop it up. Okay. You're not coming back on tonight. What, because I yawned? Yes, I am. I'll be back on later tonight. Don't worry. And we're going to be discussing the case and some other things that are going on in true crime later tonight. So make sure you tune in. I'm doing 3 tonight. Okay. I did 1 this morning, 1 this afternoon, and I'm going to do 1 this evening, which is 3 shows of Dolly today. Triple dose. Okay. A triple dose of Dolly. You guys have been awesome. Listen, you know, for all you people that press 2, I respect your opinions. You know, I pick and joke a lot. I pray to God that you are right. Okay. And I hope everybody that press 1 prays to God that 2 is right. Right. Because listen, in cases like this, I want to be wrong. I truly do. Right. I want to be like, I want you guys to be like, I told you so, Dolly. I told you so. Because if I'm right, this ends horribly. If you're right, we get to do the happy dance. All right. And let me tell you this, I ain't got no dancing shoes. So it is what it is. And I will see you guys tonight. Y'all be good. Stay safe. Make sure you check out the merch store, buydollysoap.com. We got soaps, lotions, body washes, t-shirts. If your ass is dirty, wash your flaps with Dolly soap. It's the best soap on the planet. Okay. On the whole planet. Maybe even in the universe, the whole Milky Way galaxy. It might be the best soap in the whole galaxy. Check it out. BuyDollySoap.com. Great way to support the channel. Okay. Keeps us alive. Keep these light bills on going. Okay. Keep the light bill going. We don't want it going. We want it to stop. Okay. But it helps keep the lights on. And also remember this. 2 important things. BuyDollySoap.com. And if nobody else loves you, Dolly does. And I'll see you guys tonight. Peace.